The largest Bitcoin short squeeze is about to happen right now. And yes, while this is happening, we are exactly retesting the middle range of this big consolidation range where we've been trading in for the last few weeks here. And right now, I need to talk about the major tensions that are coiling up in the world, the big consolidation phase we're right now creating, the massive inverse head and shoulders pattern that exactly created the perfect right shoulder and is now on its way back towards the highs. And I want to be talking about my exact breakout targets. I'm going to be talking about the Bitcoin CME gap that is already filled up and much more important information. So don't forget to once again watch this video till the end because Ethereum and the entire market is once again coiling up here. Don't forget to also slap on that like button back above 1000 likes and let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So first of all, yesterday we got some big news that MetaPlanet is apparently raising more money to buy even more Bitcoin. So accumulation is still ongoing, and at the same time this week is going to be a very important one because this week we will be having 3 central banks all over the world having their interest rate hike decision, including the US. So obviously as soon as the interest rates are going to be dropping, it's cheaper to be producing money, and as it is cheaper to produce money, there's going to be more money available, which ultimately will lead towards higher asset prices because there is more money available. So now with the most important news out of the way, Bitcoin is still in this consolidation phase right now here. I mean, you can clearly see this is the most important level of resistance. This is clearly the most important level of support where we bounce from multiple times here. I mentioned these levels so many times also before we hit them on the top side or the lower side. I have mentioned the middle side of the range many times before here, but this is a very critical level for the market. And yes, you can clearly see Bitcoin has seen big rejections, big support from off this level. But if we right now can once again start to be breaking above this level, I believe we're going to be pushing towards the upside of the range here. So whenever we break above this level, we're going to be going towards the highs of $110,000. Whenever we get rejected, we are going to be moving down towards $102,000. So it's very important to be breaking above this high here. And whenever we do so, we're probably going to be moving up in a very rapid pace again here. And if I'm also looking at the liquidity heat map right now here, this is of course the main topic of the video. I am just seeing major amounts of liquidity right now piling up above us. Around that 110 towards about $111,000 level. There are just major amounts of Bitcoin short liquidations piling up here. We already were spotting this days ago here. Of course, on many previous videos, also my video yesterday and the video before that, we were already talking about how we were starting to see this liquidity getting created around that 110 towards $111,000 level. Now it is getting clear this is most likely where Bitcoin is going to be moving towards, because Bitcoin always follows the liquidity, and since right now we're creating so much liquidity on the top side, it is likely that we're going to be ultimately squeezing it out here. And at the same time, the funding rates are still below neutral. Neutral is the 0.01, and that means that the majority of the traders are still trading short here. And of course, as we're still seeing more short positions getting loaded, it is ultimately a great time to be, of course, in those spot long positions or on your leverage long positions. Personally, right now, I am only in Ethereum long positions on leverage, and the rest is all spot long here. So yeah, that is of course very important to understand, guys. If you want to be trading just like I am doing here, guys, I am running big trades on Ethereum. I'm going to be doing a deep dive later in this video, so make sure to continue watching. But if you right now sign up an account to BTTC in the link description of today's video, guys, on your first deposit, you can get a free 10% on your money you deposited. So let's say you deposit $1,000, you get an additional free $100 up to $10,000 in deposit bonuses. So it's the highest link of today's video, but definitely an insane deposit bonus you can currently claim right now here. So make sure to check it out. It's a very easy to use exchange with a lot of listings on there as well here. So further on, I want to be discussing that Bitcoin is basically creating a very interesting consolidation pattern, right? We're creating an upward sloping support line, downward sloping resistance line, and we're basically getting squeezing up here. And as soon as the breakout is going to be taking place here, so whenever we're going to be breaking below support or whenever we're going to be breaking out resistance, I also want to be seeing a confirmation of the break below this green box here for an ultimate breakdown for Bitcoin. Or if we break towards the upside, I need to see a break above the red box of resistance to confirm the breakout towards the upside. Because in my opinion, Yes, we're seeing these two very important trend lines, but those green and red boxes are the most important levels for Bitcoin to be watching very closely. And then at the same time as well, in the daily time frame, we are creating that inverse head and shoulders pattern. I discussed it yesterday. I went in towards details of this pattern, but the price target of this pattern is all the way up towards about $160,000, and it's going to get confirmed whenever we break above the red box of resistance, which is of course the big level of resistance for Bitcoin. And yes, the real reason why we did saw the most recent drop off, and the real reason probably why we are seeing the liquidity being built up on the top side so heavily, is due to worldwide tensions. We are of course having tensions for a potential new world war. This is of course very bad. Markets don't like uncertainty, markets don't like war, and of course in general people don't like war, just like me. I just want to have peace all over the world. But this is the reality, and the last few times we did saw these major headlines here of potential new war coming up here. That was of course usually the period where it was actually the best time to be accumulating, because people are panicking, think their World War III is going to be happening, and then ultimately it doesn't happen. And then, of course, the markets tend to be bouncing very heavily. So, yeah, things are actually looking very great here, in my opinion. The 2-day time frame as well. Bitcoin is still trading above the previous range high, actually. We're just seeing this level getting flipped into support here. We're seeing this market right now getting squeezed up right here. And whenever the breakout for Bitcoin is really going to be happening, it is going to be probably a very big one here. I mean, I've talked about this middle range of resistance so many times here, so I'm going to be closely watching towards that level. If we break above it, like I said earlier in the video, we're going to be moving up towards $110,000, and if we then can break above that level, that will be the confirmation of a real push towards the upside. And yes, while indeed the inverse and the shoulders pattern has got a price target of about $160,000. Personally, my realistic next target here, which I've been saying so many times before here, is going to be 140 towards $130,000. I think realistically speaking, that is a great time to be a little bit more risk off on Bitcoin than more risk on here. So that is my strategy I currently have here. We're still seeing that the global liquidity is creating a massive leg towards the upside, and so far the consensus has been that Bitcoin follows the global liquidity. So let's see how it plays out here, but clearly we are seeing still more money being printed, and as long as this trend continues, it is going to be great for Bitcoin, and ultimately, eventually, there's going to be so much money printed that Bitcoin is going to be going to eternity. So the longer you hold Bitcoin, the less risk you basically have of actually losing money. So yeah, it's really a long-term play here in mind, and you can just clearly see how Bitcoin is following gold, but also how Bitcoin is following the liquidity, or you can basically say how gold is following the liquidity as well here. So everything is attached to liquidity, and that is literally increasing right now here. So things are looking great here, and ultimately also Ethereum is looking very strong right now here. I mean, we're still in the midst of this consolidation phase. We have still not seen the breakout, but whenever this breakout is really going to be taking place here, we're going to be in for a massive breakout here, a massive one here. And yes, whenever we break above that weekly resistance is whenever we're going to be seeing that big push higher, all the way up towards about $4,000. So that is really where I'm looking forward towards right now here. Bitcoin is about to be having a major breakout, and whenever it's going to be playing out here, it's going to be huge here. And on the daily time frame, the ETH compared to Bitcoin valuation still in this consolidation pattern of an ascending triangle, and whenever we're going to be breaking above the top side is where we're going to be seeing probably the next major God candle like we created back in May 2025 here. So very crazy, very interesting. At the same time, we are seeing funding rates and open interest increase quite heavily on Ethereum, showing there's more and more interest on trading ETH as well on most of the exchanges. And of course, all the charts from the ETH compared to Bitcoin valuation on the monthly time frame are just looking so good right now here. You can just not ignore it. There's a big shift happening right now in the market, and most people are apparently ignoring it, but I personally am not here. I am betting heavily on Ethereum. I put my money where my mouth is. I've invested millions of dollars on ETH. I think it's going to be running up towards $4,000, potentially higher, but my target is $4,000, and then I would have made about a 2.5x here. And since I invested millions of dollars, it is going to be a very big trade for me here. So $4,000 is my target. And guys, thanks so much for watching today's amazing update video, and I hope to see you guys back again tomorrow on another one. Peace out. Goodbye.